Sexual education is currently one of the most important things that must be taught, especially for teenagers. Sexual education is conscious and systematic programs that can be carried out by family, school, and community that convey information about sexuality, such as sexual orientation, sexual behavior, the development of boys and girls, personal abilities and health, as well as problems and challenges in its development. Sexual orientation is known as knowledge and recognition about everything that related to sex. Start from function, growth, how to take care of it, sexual behavior regarding diseases that can arise related to sex, which can taught both boys and girls.
Adolescents' understanding of sex education should be taught and provided in formal and informal education because lack of knowledge and insight related to sex education for adolescents is one of the reasons why cases of free sex and sexual harassment are increasing nowadays. In 2013, the Indonesian Child Protection Commission, or KPAI, reported that as many as 63% of adolescents in Indonesia had sexual relations outside of marriage. The sex outside of marriage can also lead to pregnancy outside of marriage, early marriage, and spread of the HIV/AIDS. UNICEF reported around 650 million women in the world have married before they were 18 years old. UNICEF also reports that at least 120 million young women under the age of 20 had been forced to have sex or perform other sexual acts, in which 90% of them say that the perpetrator was someone they knew, such as a boyfriend. Women's Employment and Child Protection, or Kemen PTPA, report that the number of violence and abuse of children under the age of 18 in Indonesia reached 9,588 cases in 2022. One form of effort in increased knowledge and insight, as well as youth awareness of sex education, is through the development of learning that is interesting and easy for teenagers to understand. In supporting the process of learning sex education for teenagers, we needed interesting media to educate teenagers. In addition, the media developed must be accessible to all youth, attractive, can be used anywhere and anytime. One of the interesting media that can be used as a learning medium in sex education is the media in the form of education games. The sex education learning media product developed in this study is a board game product in digital form called Section Game.
Methods and experiment details. 1. Location, time, and type of research. This research was conducted at Bangli Regency, Bali, Indonesia, which was carried within 2 months from March to April 2023. With the type of the research was the research and development method. 2. Research subjects and objects. The subjects of this study were students with an age range of 9 to 18 years in Bangli Regency, and the object of this study is the result of testing adolescent understanding and the level of product acceptance. 3. Research design. The development of the section game start with need analysis and then game development including designing game, conceptual validation, eligibility validation, and revision, and then field tests including tests to increase adolescents' understanding of sex education and product acceptance rate tests, and then we produce section game. 4. Game development procedures and data collection instruments start with need analysis and then game model development and then conceptual validation, eligibility validation, and revision. 5. Field test. In the field test, 2 stages of testing were carried out, namely the testing phase to determine whether there was an increase in adolescents' understanding and the testing stage for product acceptance level. 6. Data analysis technique. Data analysis was carried out by calculating the increase in adolescents' knowledge about sex education with the following formulas and categories. Data analysis also calculates the level of product acceptance from the results of the questionnaire with the following scales and categories. Results and discussion. 1. Overview of Section Game products. Section Game is a digital-based board game that adapts the concept of the Monopoly game with the aim of increasing youth's understanding, insight, and awareness about sex education. Section Game basically has a game system that resembles Monopoly, where this game can be played by up to 4 players. There are pound, dice, and game rules that make it easier for players to understand how to play Section Game. In addition, in Section Game, there are also components that support entertainment and educational value through game cards symbolized by pound, namely Get the Point, with star icon indicating point, contain sub-questions related to sex education that must be answered by players to get the point and win the game. Tips, with a light icon containing tips that can be done to protect yourself, cleaning the sexual organs, and how to provide a sexual violence. Fun fact, with a loudspeaker icon filled with unique facts and interesting material to learn about sex education. And the last, minigame, is a card that contains instructions for moving forward, backwards, trap, and even the participants can get the point from this minigames card. The way to win this game is quite easy, namely players must collect as many points that can be obtained from the get points and minigames. The principle of motivation that can be found in the get point which motivate player to win the section game and learn sex education. 2. Increasing understanding of sex education. To see an increase in adolescents' understanding of sex education through section game, 2 stages of testing were carried out, starting with pre-test and ending with post-test. From the pre-test and the post-test that have been carried out, the following results are obtained. The table on the figure shows that there was an increase in the average pretest result of 65.38 or enough to 85.23 or high in the post-test result. Based on the results of the pretest, it can be seen that respondents have an adequate understanding of sex education. And from the result of the post-test, it appears that there is a significant or high category increase in adolescents' understanding of sex education after playing the section game. 3. Acceptance rate of section game products. The following table is an index of the questionnaire filled out by the respondents. This aims to find out how the feasibility of the product to be played as an educational game. From the results obtained through a questionnaire filled out by 25 respondents, in general, the respondents strongly agree. In terms of perception of the game, the section game can generate feelings of joy, enthusiasm when playing section game. Then, the level of product acceptance in terms of perception of the use of section game, respondents stated that they strongly agree that a section game were easy to play, game instructions were easy to understand, and the components and contents of the game were clear. In terms of perception of the aspect of increasing knowledge, respondents stated that they strongly agree that the section game was fun to play, clear, and help in increasing the respondents' knowledge, understanding, and awareness regarding sex education. Based on the description above, section games are very useful for community, especially for teenagers in increasing their knowledge and awareness regarding sex education, so as to avoid free sex, early marriage, pregnancy out of wedlock, sexually transmitted disease, and sexual violence through the learning media section game, which presents sex education information in a form that is fun and easy to understand.